Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. This week's episode of The Lion King, I mean The Bad Batch, was once again another Sid mission. A filler episode, if you will. But this episode didn't frustrate me in the same way that other fillers have. So let's jump in and let's talk about it. Now, there's not much that I want to break down in terms of retelling the events of the story, so what I'll do is I'll give an overview, and then if you want my final thoughts, just skip to the end of the video where I'll talk about why I think the Bad Batch will finally leave Sid and what might be next for them. In this episode titled The Crossing, the Bad Batch was sent by Sid to mine an unstable mineral called Ipsium, which according to tech is tremendously valuable when refined, yet highly combustible in its raw state. The squad, which is now down another man, searches the mine only to discover that Sid purchased a mostly dried up mine, which isn't surprising. The squad works to mine the Ipsium while adjusting to the loss of Echo. While Tech, Omega, and Hunter are inside mining, Wrecker is supposed to be on lookout. However, as the squad is exiting the mine, their ship, the Marauder, is stolen by what looks to be a local kid. We don't learn anything else about him. Quick note here, did you notice that Hunter knew the ship was being stolen a bit before everyone else did? That hopefully should remind us of Hunter's ability to sense electromagnetic frequencies. He sensed the ship being fired up before anyone else heard it. Not that sensing it a few seconds earlier did them any good. So this is the main plot of the episode. They were sent to mine for Sid, and their ship was stolen, leaving them stranded on this unknown planet. They navigate a few mishaps, one being the stampede that killed Mufasa, and they became trapped in another mine. Now, I told you that this episode was not as frustrating to me when it comes to filler episodes, because I actually really enjoyed the character development that happened while they were stranded. Seeing the different ways that members of the Bad Batch were processing the loss of Echo was a bit of good character development for them. I've been really bad at remembering that this show is about the Bad Batch, so episodes like this are important in progressing them as characters. They just don't involve fighting the Empire, so it's easy for me to roll my eyes and get impatient. From a pacing standpoint though, I think this episode does a good job of allowing the story to take a breath after the major progression of the previous two episodes. I think this is a long-term show, with 16 episodes in the first season, 16 in this season, and I assume a third season of some sorts. It's good to get these slower episodes that develop the thoughts, emotions, and motives of the title characters. I've also been thinking of these down episodes in terms of music. In a song, the big moments feel epic because of the down parts of the song. A verse might lay the foundation for the chorus, or perhaps the bridge is soft and slowly builds to an epic chorus. All of those pieces work together. And sure, more often than not, it's only the chorus that gets stuck in your head, but the chorus is built on the work of the other pieces of the song. So in the case of these filler episodes, I'll admit, they don't have a lot of rewatch value to me, and I would prefer that we could just skip to all the good stuff, so to speak. But I recognize that this is a show that is trying to tell a story about a relatively new set of characters in Star Wars. There needs to be episodes like this one to develop them into well-rounded characters that have more depth than just blowing up the Empire. So where do they go from here though? I truly did watch this episode and wonder what is next for the Bad Batch. It's disappointing and surprising to me that they're still working for Sid. I thought by now they would have figured out that she's not someone they can trust, but here we are, mining an unstable mineral in a mine that is used up. But I think that the Bad Batch is actually starting to recognize this. They're recognizing that they need to find something else to do other than work for Sid. Of course, Echo has already figured out what he needs to be doing. I hope that it is a wake-up call to them that Sid could barely be bothered to help them off of the planet they are stranded on, despite all they've done for her, and Tech reminds her of all of that. This makes me think that once they get off this planet, they're gonna ditch Sid for good. The episode ends with Omega essentially saying they don't need anyone else and they'll figure it out like they always do. So depending on how the next episode goes, this could be an important arc in the Bad Batch where they finally break free from dependence on Sid. Now, I'm not sure what they'll do next though. If they were going to permanently join the fight against the Empire, it seems like following Echo in the last episode would have been a great time to do that. One last thing I noticed was that without Echo, it really did feel like we were a man down. So perhaps this is the show's way of making room for Crosshair to rejoin. I can see their next step being to go after Crosshair, or maybe Crosshair tracks them down in hopes of rejoining them. I don't know. I do think that we'll see his redemption in this season, and maybe the second half of this season will work towards that. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments. I love hearing your insight because, truthfully, I probably missed something that you caught. So comment that below and leave a like for the video if you enjoyed it. As always, have a great rest of your day and may the Force be with you.